if you are on a quest to become the best version of yourself, to really learn about your attachment style, your communication style, and how to interact in a relationship, grab a piece of paper, grab your journal, because this is going to be something that you're going to want to write down. We're going to talk about a really easy communication tool that you can use when you need to bring up something with your partner that feels like it is not a conversation that you want to have. So when something happened, when you're upset, when you are making up a story about something that your partner did and you feel really pissed off, you're ruminating in something that happened, it's really awkward sometimes to not know how to bring that up with our partner. And specifically, if you've had experience with partners in the past who get upset with you for speaking your need or get really defensive the moment that you try to say, hey, I was really hurt about this thing, we can learn that it's better to avoid the pain and to not say anything at all. And then we start stuffing feelings, and then we start building resentment, and then we explode anyway, and it's a mess anyway. So I want to give you a tool that you can use when you have something going on inside that you need to express, but it feels a little scary. So let's use an example. Say that your partner promised that he was going to clean the bathrooms this weekend, and you were going to do other things in the house. That was the vision of the cleaning, and you were set on that, set that they were going to do that. So as the weekend's going by, Saturday, he's not doing it. Sunday morning, he's not doing it. And you're like, well, he still has the full day. I'm not going to say anything yet. And then Sunday night comes and he still didn't do it. And you're stewing and you're like, what the hell? This was our agreement. Why didn't you fulfill your part of the agreement? And instead of going to him being like, what the hell? This is what you said you were going to do. Why didn't you do it? Or I know you probably meant to clean the bathroom, but what happened? Both of those things, just feel that in your body for a minute. Both of those, it's like an attack energy, right? Like, why didn't you do what you said you were going to do? I know you probably thought this, but it sets people up to feel like they're backed up into the corner. And so you want to try to approach the conversation where the guards are down, because that is going to immediately put your partner on the defense, which is likely going to cause an argument or a fight of some kind. So what's a better way to approach that would be to use a tactic called sharing the story in your head. This is my favorite thing because you literally share a story in your head. So when he doesn't clean the bathroom, if you feel pissed off, angry, unseen, like you're being taken advantage of, like you're the only one who holds their promises in the relationship, that's all very true for you. That's your story. Your story is that when your partner doesn't do what he says he's going to do, you feel like you're not as important as the movie he went to or the friends he's hanging out with. And to be able to share that vulnerably with your partner as your truth and not necessarily the truth offers space for you to communicate and offers space for them to then acknowledge your story and most likely tell you that that's not what they meant to do. So saying something along the lines of, hey, when you didn't clean the bathroom this weekend, like we had talked about, I really made up this story that I wasn't important and that our promises to each other aren't important. And I'm feeling left out. I'm feeling upset about that. Can you help me with this story? Is this story true? And then allowing the other person the opportunity to speak and say, maybe something like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that we talked about it. It slipped my mind. I wasn't doing it intentionally to hurt you, right? So his truth is it slipped his mind. And your truth is this entire story made up about why he didn't do it and why you're not good enough and why you're not as important as everything else in his life. So when we can verbalize our stories in a safe space, so this comes down to having a safe partner that you can do this with, somebody who's not going to use your story or your feelings or your vulnerabilities against you later. When we can do that with our partner, first of all, it clears misconceptions, right? When he tells me his story and I tell him mine, there's a level of understanding that we both looked at that experience very differently. And what do we both need in this moment outside of talking about it? Do I need him then to actually clean the bathroom so that he's holding up on his promises, or whatever you want to request at that? Or maybe it's just that you needed to be heard and you needed to be reassured that the story in your head wasn't true. So this is a good way to start to practice communicating, because when you come out with something and say, the story in my head that I'm making up is, or can I please share the story that I'm making up in my head, it automatically enters the conversation with vulnerability. And when somebody's being vulnerable, it invites the other person to be vulnerable too. And there's much less potential for them to get angry with you. Not to say that they won't, but this can help that situation if you are just struggling trying to find the wording to describe something that felt hurtful or something that you're sad or mad or frustrated about. So use this tool. I would love to hear how this goes for you. If you are on this quest to learn more tactics, learn more about yourself, really find clarity about yourself so that you can show up as your best self in relationships, please check out my coaching. I always offer a free exploratory session so that we can get to know each other. You can see how it's vibing. I can talk about what specific offers I have at that time, if any feel good to you, and just help you on your journey. I'm somebody who used to be in severely dysfunctional relationships, got out of a really toxic relationship, didn't think that I would ever find healthy love. And in my process of finding myself again, I built that strength. I built that self-respect, that self-worth that really helped me start like vibing on the level of other healthy, secure people. And now being in a really beautiful relationship, it's such an honor to guide other women as they are navigating the journey to be able to hold and experience healthy, mature love. So I can nerd out about it forever. If you want to talk more about it, happy to have the exploratory session. And thank you for listening. I hope that this was helpful.